Alright guys, thanks for joining. Hey Moneybags. I just thought I'd get us up a little bit early today and give people a bit of an advance thing to jump on. Hey Rule, long time no see. So I'll turn this off and get to painting. I'm going to be trying to do a rattlesnake today, so a little bit different. I'm going to go with the same colours again. Where's my blue? Yeah, oh, okay. So same colours again, burnt umber and an ultramarine blue. You probably can't read them because my camera's shit, so I need to get that updated. And as you can see from the actual picture up here, it's got some yellow and red in. So we're going to use some cadmium yellow for the yellow on that one. I'm probably going to go with cadmium red because they're the two easiest. But I've also got some yellow ochre here to sort of like keep it in tone with what I need. So that's 5 colours. Again, no use in black. I've already done my pencil outline. I've tried to keep it a bit more simpler this time. But what I'm actually going to do is what I've done here is I put a frame around it, and the ship actually exceeds the frame because I want the ship to sort of like come out and look like it's a bit bigger, or to give it that sense of sort of like it's larger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of a wash on now, which I'm going to start here and my usual swish, just a little bit larger than usual because I still want to have that sort of like swish look, but without having a full swish, still having it within the frame. So you've got a bit of a frame here, and I've forgotten to get my paper. So I forgot to get my I just use like paper towel, like normal thing, and I'm gonna use my dirty water as always and sort of like lift some of this off a minute, because a lot of this, although that colour is going to be in, I just want to sort of like lift it off the main bit here. There's some like whitish yellow parts at the beginning here that I'm probably going to lift off as always with a bit of acrylic, just to sort of like to bring them out a little bit. I can actually do this. You can see all the front here. There's like loads of it. So a lot of that's going to be brought out with a lot of acrylic. The little bits here as well. So they're going to have quite a lot of yellow on. There's some bits here and a little bit here, but not much. So we should be fine with just that. Obviously we've got another little bit there and a bit here, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to bring it out with our acrylic anyway in a later point. So I'm just going to get the hair dryer, so I'm going to mute the mic a minute. If you can't hear me or anything, just let me know, or if you want me to explain anything a bit more, feel free to ask. And Rule, let me know what you've been up to, mate. I haven't spoke to you for like quite a while now, I think. Usually best to start at the beginning, isn't it? I've actually got some clean water today. Usually I use sort of like a sort of dirty water. I've also got another. I've got another one here as well, which is a slightly different colour. If you spoke to any other watercolour artists, they might be horrified by that and just be like, "Oh, you should use two waters or two clean waters or whatever." But most of the time, because I'm using the same palette, it actually suits me to use that anyway. And like I said, I've never actually been taught how to do any of this, so you know, we just do what we can. So, oh god, this one's a little bit messed up for some reason, but it's only the background, so for some reason I'm lifting the wet paint there, I think. So we're just gonna maybe see if this works. No, that doesn't work. So I've just cocked up the background straight away. But it doesn't matter because we're not really focused on that. I just need to hey Jedi. Yeah, I should probably do something with the avatar, but it's all right, you know. For now, it'd be fine. So, going obviously a little bit of yellow with this one. So I've got my blacks and stuff mixed up from the other day. These are pretty much what I was using the other day. You can see the brown, a little bit of brown there, and it sort of like looks black. But if you look, it's actually, this one's actually a warm, it's sort of like a warm black. It's literally just ultramarine blue and the brown, the burnt umber. So what I want to do is just, I suppose it's really this. I mean, it looks yellow, but it's more like this burnt umbery sort of yellowy colour here. You do have the white bits. I'm going to try and sort of like work around them as much as I can. And I use the reddish water today. Yeah. I knew you were doing the security thing, but because I've spoken to you since then and stuff like that, but it's just been, I mean, your kid must be a few years old now, right? And hopefully, I mean, once I can empty that water out and actually take the paint out of that, I mean, watercolours are great for that sort of stuff. So I'm going to go with sort of like a light wash like this. I've already got that back sort of like wash on there, and the red I don't need to worry about too much. Oh, I forgot, I can actually peel this off and you can see the effect that I'm kind of wanting to have. With the ship being a bit more coming out a bit more, you know. So I'm just going to start applying. This is the lightest colour that I'm going to apply at the moment, and then I'll base sort of like a lot of decisions based on this. Like I can see this is actually a bit redder up here, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. I can even leave some of these lines in because it doesn't really affect my painting too much, especially seeing that some of these are actually going to actually go black. And I'll just chase it straight up to the line. Again, I chose this picture. I actually chose. I can't actually remember where I got it from, to be honest with you. I think it was a Reddit post actually. talking about the different ships. It's probably a really old Reddit post, to be honest with you. 20? Oh, 10. I was going to say, bloody hell, it wasn't that long ago. I've not even known you 20 years. So yeah, sometimes that happens. We get a little bit of a strand of hair or something to come off a brush. So I've messed up there because I've actually gone over that. I didn't mean to go over that, but it's alright. Again, like I said, I'm going to bring in the acrylic later and sort of like really pop that out. And this one I actually chose because when I was going through, when I was looking for pictures to do today, I was like, right, I kind of want to stick with the Garistas theme. With the first, doing the worm and the Gila. I know I did the Loki the other day, but I wanted to do some more Garista ships, and I've done it again. So I'm probably just gonna have to bite a bullet and just do the whole thing now in there, and then follow through with that. So I wanted to do another Garista ship. I've had requests for a rattlesnake before, and I don't think I've actually done one. I've done scorpions and stuff like that. I've done scorpions, widow. I think that's it, to be honest with you. So I'm just sort of like putting this base coat on, and it will sort of, it's my underlying coat, I guess. The other ones went pretty well, but do you still play? Do you still play Eve at all? Or because I haven't seen you in game either for a while. Every now and again I see you, but just trying to blur the line here a little bit, guys, and just bring that in. Again, a lot of the colours are going to pop when they're put next to darker colours and stuff. And obviously, I kind of need it to dry a little bit to figure stuff out. And obviously, the reds and some of the other colours don't need to. They can go over the top of something like a yellow anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's why I can just afford to sort of like try and blend all this in right now. This bit here is going to be a bit redder, so I should probably put in my little bit of cadmium right now, although it probably won't make a difference because I can actually it's only a little bit, so you can probably see that now. I've just put in a little bit, and again that's just going to be a wash, but we'll see, because I can see the front end here is a bit yellower than the top back, and I kind of want to reflect that, and I kind of want to still have it while it's sort of wet, even though it's a bit of a lighter colour. I just want it to sort of I'd like it to show, so that's what we're going to do. Remember, if you were on stream yesterday, I was, or sorry, the other day, I was talking about wet on wet and how I'm not really doing any of those sort of techniques. So like very minimal, sort of very minimal here as well. Like I'm just going to bring a bit more red in there, and yeah, we're going to do that, and just blend that in. So it's a little bit of a rough blend right there, because I don't believe that any of this really is going to be that sort of colour. Yeah, well, it does add up and stuff. I mean, yeah, it depends. Like I usually have 1 or 2 characters I pay, and then like 1 or 2 will just be through is making on Eve and stuff like that. Because you can sell the skill points now, so I just pretty much do that on a couple of my characters, and so I'll have one. I'll get, I'll look at, maybe I'll pick a deal out and get like a year sub or something like that on 1 or 2 characters. I think I did like 6-month subs, or I did like a year sub and like a Plex deal or something like that, and then the rest are sort of like I activate depending on how I feel like, if I need like the 3rd character or 4th character, then I do it. But I rarely dual box nowadays anyway. I'm a bit crap at it, so and I still like my solo stuff, and it's just too much like, some of the groups that you might want to fly with that do a lot of PvP, you have to be like quite like really heavy active, and you have to know what's up with current meta. You have to sort of like be up to speed with it, and I'm just not. I'm really just not up to date with anything. I'm just going to mute this a minute and go over it again with the old blower. A couple of the other pieces, like I did the Gila, and I haven't gone over the worms, but the Gila and the Loki I went over sort of afterwards, because there was sort of a couple of little things that I wanted to update, little highlights and stuff like that. So the Loki actually got another wash of yellow and stuff to try and bring out the yellow on the background, and I updated let me see if I can get it. While that's drying, so I put, this was actually like it was quite it was more like this colour here, and I wanted to bring a bit more colour into it, give it a bit more saturation and stuff. And similar with this, it wasn't really, the yellow on it wasn't really showing through as much as I wanted to. Obviously when I'm on stream, I'm rushing through things, so I'm just trying to do that. So I put the wash on, put in some more highlights to sort of like help bring it out, and yeah, and the same with the Gila. I sort of like I put another wash here, and just in a few places, a couple of little black lines. Probably no one will ever notice. And I brought out some more of the white sort of like areas that I wanted to sort of like show here, for example, to just try and have them pop out more. But this one, the worms, I didn't actually do anything to. I kind of liked it. I like this one, how it's gone. I do like how this one's gone, quite loose and stuff like that. I had thought about doing some little marks up here, but I decided to just leave it as it is. And yeah, I was messing around with an old Mustang car as well, so that's in the pile somehow. Which one, the Gila or the Loki or? Oh, the worms. Yeah, I do like the worm. I used to use it when it was I used to use it years ago when it wasn't really a drone boat, and I haven't used it since it's become a drone boat, to be honest with you. So now I'm going to debate now what my next step is. Usually I'd be leaving it to yeah, usually I'd be leaving it to what's the word, I don't know what the word is. I'm a bit stuck. I'd usually use it. Oh yeah, I'd usually use the time rather than draw it myself. I'd usually use the time to sort of like figure out what my next step is going to be. And right now, I'm not really sure what my next step is. So I'm going to try and obviously I'm going to be winging it. I'm just organising some stuff on my screens a minute, so I've got a bigger version of this. I've got a bigger version. Otherwise, I'm looking at this little tiny picture and trying to pick out details. Right now, I've got it on my right hand side of the screen, left hand side of the screen. I've got two screens set up and stuff. So I kind of want to bring out this shaded area, but I still want it sort of like a warm. This top bit's like a warm. Like a warmer colour than this bit, and I kind of want to reflect that. So I'm going to bring in a little bit more, and I'm going to actually use what's left here for the shade. And again, I'm going to make it a little bit watery in order to try and sort of like just shade it down, and then we'll probably do some of the more details with like maybe a bit more saturation, or so I kind of like that sort of colour. Obviously the red's bleeding into it, but that's alright. So I'm mostly working on a yellow ochre, to be honest, today. I thought I'd be working more with the cadmium yellow, but it looks like the yellow ochre sort of like sat in my brain more than the other. Okay, so okay, again, I kind of want a watery, like a watery one, and a sort of like a more thicker one for different stages of what I'm painting. So obviously this is a bigger shade. I'm sort of like moving it around here. I shouldn't really do that, but it's a bit difficult because I want to really hit that line there. Yeah, so kind of want to sort of like avoid going over these little three bits here, but there is some little areas there that I can go with. I sort of like have a habit of rushing as well, which is a pretty bad habit when you're painting, because it means that I'm missing certain details, which we don't really want. And again, I'm just going to bring this sort of shadow onto that line, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get rid of that line later with bringing in some highlights with the acrylic that I've been showing you guys the last couple of days. If you've been sort of watching, at least, anyway, you know. You'll have to forgive the camera. Obviously the camera's a bit crappy. So it's got that sort of like reddish sort of colour here. So I'm going to keep keeping some of it loose as well. But round about here it sort of like changes in sort of like tone. So I can see that here there's a little of that same block. Like this little bit of colour here sort of like matches this bit up here, and there are some little bits here and probably like sort of there but that's because there's a bit of camo there. There's this little triangle bit here that's a bit got that same sort of like tone there, and this bit here, you know, and I can afford to make, you know, because it's a watercolor and I'm not making a photo, I can afford to make some mistakes anyway, so it's not an overly, I don't need to be like overly ambitious or anything like that. And what I'm going to do, or yeah, I don't need to be like everything, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of like come here with this yellow here and see if I can make a darker colour here. Again, this just needs to be like a light wash, and as to be honest with you, as it goes, because this will dry as I'm painting, the paint basically makes itself thicker. So I don't need to really worry too much. There's a lot of red here, and I can see the yellows and stuff like that. I'm not really sure because I know that the red's going to go on top of there, so I'm just going to bring in this line. No, I'm not going to do that actually right now, because if I do that line right now, it might cause a mistake that that I'll find hard to correct. Again, these colours are alright to bring in, and I don't even need to worry about the edges on this one, because some of the edges on this one are quite they have a lighter look, so I don't need to worry too much about a lot of things. I'm seeing that this is another yellow, that's going to be black. So this is basically at the stage where I'm just sort of like applying colours willy-nilly. This is my sort of the loose stage for me, because I don't need to be overly picky with these colours. Do you know what I mean? I can see that there's a bit there that's going to be going white. There's this bit here that it's going to match that colour. There's a bit of red here, and then these are going to be more or less that colour as well. Again, when we're doing details for stuff out in the background here, I mean, I'd say that this is the sort of mid-ground, and then this is the foreground, and then this is the sort of background. I don't really need to worry too much about the details here. For one, it's one of the minor parts of the thing. I want you guys to focus on this, and to be honest, the tail bit, because that's what makes the scorpion, right? So I don't need to be overly detailed anyway with any of that. And let me just bring in. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. Just there's a bit of yellow there, and I just wanted to bring in a bit more water with that, because it's been a bit. I want to sort of like make it like a lighter colour, and again I'll probably chase this up with a bit of acrylic sort of line work at a later point. Like especially here, I can see that there's a yellow bit here, or sort of like that'll bring it out, that I'll be using a bit of acrylic for. Again, here's another one that probably needs to go a bit redder, but the rest I'm sort of like pretty happy with doing this so far. And some of this I can bring in, like, so there's like these patches of colour here, like they're the camo patches. Again, sort of keeping it fairly loose, not really trying not to worry or get distracted too much by these things, by other things. We'll bring this again. That part brings out some different colours. and you know, a lot of this is going to be black. That's going to be that colour. I'll go back to the, I'll cut back in with this yellow. It's a little bit yellow on the side, so I'll bring that out. And yeah, bring this out. There is an actual colour here. I'm going to actually do it solid, you know. So there's a camo line there, like a light one, and I'm hoping this will dry so you won't really notice these the lines that have gone a bit off. You know, this bit's black, but there's a sort of like yellowish, sort of like a, well, the darkish colours around it. That bit's going to be like a bright colour, so I'll worry about that bit later. I don't usually. Spiff Bob Ross. Did you get a new hand from Spare Parts? I did. Welcome back, Umber. You alright? I did. Look, it's shiny and fresh and new. So quite happy about that. I should probably sit over here because I've got a light coming down from this side, but also from this side, which is kind of like annoying. But again, it would help if I had a decent camera. So, and again, this bit, I'm just gonna flow with that. There. This is going to go black, this bit's going to go black, so we've got some minor sort of details here to sort of like worry about. Again, they're sort of like background sort of details, and the contrast between the reddish sort of colours is going to come in a minute or in a bit, and the blacks should sort of like help with that. There's a little bit of thing here, and I'm not really sure because I know this bit goes this bit's dark and stuff like that, and there's some line work coming up here, so I'm not really gonna try and worry myself too much with that. Same up here, there's going to be some line work that comes in up there later, and even to this point where I'm not even going to worry about these. I don't even really want to worry about these lines, but there is room for this line here. And that line. And we'll go with that. Yeah, bring a bit of colour in there. A lot of this going to be sort of red, or like the dark colours that come up here and stuff like that. So we need maybe some of this camo sort of colours need to come in up here, but because it's sort of like wet, it's not really working. The paint's not working for me the way that I'd want it to. So probably better off waiting for that to dry, or I could just continue and just plow on. It doesn't really matter. I've done any work with oils? Not like years and years ago when I was like maybe 15-20 years ago I did some oil stuff, but not with Eve. I've done acrylics. The problem with Eve is, well, the problem with oils is you need an awful lot of oils to sort of like put on the page, and I don't really enjoy it. I know that there's a lot of techniques with oils that you can do that give you that sort of like realistic look. I know it's a lot, there's a lot of things. No, not really. It's just not really. So oils require like a lot more patience. Like a lot of patience, paintings can take a couple of months. You put in, it's more for like, I consider it to be more for like, sort of like heavily detailed work. I know a lot of people do sort of like loose artwork with it, and even like abstract and stuff like that. It's just I prefer. I don't know. I got into the watercolors, and I prefer the watercolors. I do use acrylics still, but the oils. You know, I'd need to buy brushes pretty much every time I do buy a painting. I do a painting, and then I've got to get a lot more equipment and learn a lot more techniques and stuff like that. And I used to do acrylics before with other stuff before I started painting the youth stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a bunch of reasons why you might want to use oils for different stuff, but I don't personally use them. I'm just going to bring out mute the mic a minute and give it a bit of a. Alright, so I just wanted to give that a little bit of a dry. I'm still like, but see, these things bother me here. These two patches here bother me. They really shouldn't. But what I'll probably do in a little bit is there are some lines I might choose to. There might be some lines that I want to bring out, and so I might darken up the background a bit more, or in certain places. And this is actually one of those areas that is good that I'd go dark on one side. You can see there's a bit of a cloud thing just under this area here, so I might do that, and then lighten this up a little bit, darken this area, and then just do some little splatters of white for the stars and stuff like that, you know. Right now I'm going to go with a bit of I need a new just that's the second time I've dropped that. My desk is often an absolute mess, so and I just needed a little secondary palette for a thing. So I've got, this is another palette I've got. Most of the colours on here are dry. I use these mostly for sketching, although sometimes I do use it for painting, like so for what I'm doing now. I've got a bit of alizarin crimson there. Alizarin crimson, I don't even know how to say that really, so do forgive me if you know how to say it. Alizarin crimson. I know how it's spelled. Okay. So I just want to bring it out a little bit. I should have put that in the corner really, but you know, we can. And again, you can probably see some little colours here. So I'm just going to wet that up, give the brush a clean, and then actually we do have a very similar colour here. So I'm actually gonna use that. Oh, there we go. And again, this is one of those instances where I kind of want this really watery, and then just shape. Just get that off. And I know that this. So this is the test now. That's not really showing me the colour I want. So we'll leave with that, and we'll bring in some other colours. And again, you're going to be like, it's not really about being accurate. And this is pretty much just the underlying sort of like coat that I want for some of these colours. So like here, for example, this bit is, you know, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. I've done it now. You know, I can see that that's the sort of colour I'm going to go with at some point. That's probably the lighter of those colours. This bit, I know it's red, but it's just a different colour red, so I don't really want to put this sort of like colour on here. But there are a few little splotches here and there that I can get away with doing. Even here would have been okay for a bit of purple, a little line here and there, and not that bit. Oh, it is that bit. That bit's got a little bit of purpley colour in. There's another line down here, and these are probably the most I'm going to sort of like get out of that really area is by doing that. Again, this is actually quite red, but I'm gonna do that at another point. There's some little parts up here that I can. I don't know if you saw me do that again the other day. I thought that said Da Vinci then, not David David. The colour spread, yeah. I would say it's going to be down to personal preference, because some people are going to pick out different colours to me. Like they might focus more on the red than the yellow, or they might focus more on the highlights or the shadow, the shading and stuff like that. You know. So I would say it just depends on the people, and also like sometimes I literally like. I don't really, so I'll let the brush do the work sometimes. Like I'll put a bit of colour there, but I'm letting the brush do it, and then sometimes I'll put a bit of colour on and then smudge it, and that gives me a different texture. You know, so instead of having, let's have a look if you can see it. I'll do a little bit on the thing. Instead of having it like that, you've got something like that, you know. And it just gives it a little bit of a texture to it. To be honest, a lot of people will stand back and look at the whole piece anyway. Most people are not going to be like really sort of like zooming in and sort of like looking at every single detail. And if you do, that's great, because it does help you appreciate how much effort that somebody's put in and stuff like that. Sometimes you'll see that somebody might have, you know, like so you might see a photorealistic stuff, and that's probably where the best thing is. Some people do sort of like some really nice photo sort of realistic stuff, but when you actually look at it, you can see that there's a lot of detail that they've just I don't know how to explain it, sort of like omitted. You know, like they might just be doing like a bunch of H's to get a certain texture, and that just comes from experience. And then other people like literally are like dot for dot. They might as well be like a printer, you know. So I don't really. I mean, I can appreciate photorealism, but it's not really the type of artwork that I go for personally. I prefer people like Joseph Zubovic, for example, who is amazing. And could, you know, you know, he could probably do. I would have thought without a doubt he can do sort of like photorealistic techniques, but he chooses to work in a very sort of like loose sort of fashion, and I really do like his artwork. You know, to the point of I am inspired by artists like him, and he's a really nice guy as well. I remember sending him an email once, and yeah, he's a really really nice guy, you know, and that sort of like helps as well, you know, because you get a lot of people that just don't, you know, but on Instagram and on Facebook, a lot of these people, they just don't want to talk. You know, they feel like they're better than everybody else, and I get it. You know, you got time and stuff like that, and I'm not known for being the best or the most what's the word, the most of the most social of people, you know, but so I'm probably going to go over some of these lines later, or as we go along. There's actually a lot less red than I thought. Do you paint at all, Amanda? That is a long name. Again, just to make a bit of a mess, you know, and I think at that point where I kind of want to bring in some of the dark colours, so I sort of like know where I'm going now. So I need to sort of like let it dry a bit. Not artistic, right? So again, I like sort of, you know, ooh, that didn't go quite well. It's not supposed to go there. And that's going to go black anyway, so I don't really need to worry about that. But I do kind of like a couple of little splotches here and there. You know. Oh, that'll be fine. Yeah, that'd be grand. We've got a couple of little, talking about it, might as well go into the background a little bit, you know. We've got, I'm going to leave that colour actually, and then I'm going to bring in some darker sort of colours here, and I know that's actually a bit browner than what I'm getting here, but again, doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, well, there's quite a few artists. I mean, there's Rix Javix. He does sort of. He's been doing it longer than me actually. He does a lot of digital stuff. Then there's oh God, how do you say his name? There's Luke, who does sort of like this sort of like line work sort of stuff. And his stuff's really cool. I mean, they're both cool, but in different ways as well. Like, you know, so a lot of my, to be honest with you, a lot of the reasons some of my artwork is the way it is from is actually, you know, inspiration from Rick's as well, because in his a lot of his earlier ones, he did quite a few things where it was just the subject, and I sort of like took that. That's quite, you know, I quite like that sort of style. I like it, like even in sort of like more traditional forms of art. I kind of like it when you've got, if you're painting a car, for example, I don't really want to see the background. I know a lot of people do that, but you know, if I want to paint a car, I want to paint another car. And Rick's some of his earlier stuff was less scenery and more, you know, it was just like the actual ship on like a background, and I thought that was really really cool. Some of his earlier stuff, and I keep meaning to get some of Rick's stuff myself, but it's just every time I think I've got money, I don't have money, you know, which is a pain really, but that's how it is, you know, and you know, it's just the same for everyone else, really. And I'm gonna just a couple of flicks. I do like to do stuff like that. We can see actually there's a bit of a yellowy cloud thing here, but I'm not going to include that because I don't like it on the actual on this actual shot itself. I don't actually like that yellowy spot that comes in, but I can grab some of this now and just push this area out a little bit. I don't want to do too much. I just want to bring these clouds out a little bit. So I'm applying quite a lot of water now to this area here, and I'm going to rub it in and blend it in with that, and really sort of like, yeah, I mean this is going to go black anyway, so I don't need to worry about it too much, and because I like the little texture here, I've actually gone out of my way to sort of like keep that and actually just paint over the top of it. So let's have a look, and fingers crossed. That this is going to turn out alright, so I'm just going to, they call it lifting, but it doesn't always bloody work. Or it doesn't always work the way you want it. So I'm just going to hope that this sort of blends in now. And I kind of wanted to lift this area, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to go for me, so I'm going to choose to do it a little bit differently. Again, there's a whole area here that's going to be brought out by like a white line or like a lighter line, and I kind of want to bring them in later. So just doing a sort of like a rough sort of background here, and I still want to keep the swash sort of like look on that square. And what I might do is I might try and bring out some of this with in a little bit with another colour in it. But you know, you can see some of these rough lines. I can soften them up like this, but probably gonna have to get a new brush soon. But it's not overly necessary. It's just to create some contrast and some interesting sort of like more interesting shapes on the background. And I've obviously got these lines that I forgot about, the lines that go back from the ship, but I'm not focusing on them, to be honest with you. And I'm just going to let that dry a minute. So I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm just going to take a little tea break. I'm going to go put the kettle on. How long have we been at this? It's probably taken me a lot longer than I thought. So this at this stage has been an hour. So yeah, I definitely need a cup of tea. And I'm just going to go back. So I'm just going to grab a couple while that dries a little bit more. I should probably get a kettle in here, realistically, shouldn't I? You know, I'm going to put the kettle on now. So you see I'm grabbing this dark colour from here, and I'm going to mix it in with a bit of this. And it'll help thicken it out, so I can actually bring. I don't know what's going on with this paper, with the. I don't know whether it's a paper saver. I'm getting a lot of whether I'm using like the paint's too watery, or I'm getting a lot of this sort of like bleed look, which is could be because I'm using the hairdryer or something. I don't really use the hairdryer a lot, so it could be that. It could be because I'm shit at what I'm doing, and yeah. Who knows? We'll never know. So I could probably get these a little bit redder, but it's alright because I can also put this on and then put a bit of red over it in a little bit, you know. We've got these little, I'm sure they're that sort of colour. Just a bit of black here and some line work there. This one I'm sort of struggling with this colour. I'm not really sure what colour I'm going to bring into that one. But I can definitely see me bringing out some more colour here. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of bleed. Maybe the I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with that today. Maybe I'm just using a bit more water than I would usually. I have no idea. So obviously I do paint quite a lot when I'm painting, but sometimes I'm just as lost as everybody else. So I bring in a little bit of that purple from here into there because I like how it sort of looks, and I kind of wanted that to be a bit of a blend, but we'll see how that goes when it dries. I still want to kind of make this a little bit redder, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. I might bring that out a little bit later with maybe some acrylic or something. Same with some of these other areas, you know. Maybe bring them in a little bit later with some acrylic over the top or something. But I should imagine that once I've brought in some again here, this is looking a lot redder than it does. Oh well, I'm thinking it looks a bit more redder on here than it does here, and here's just, I think here I just sort of like need a bit more red, to be honest with you, and I really do need to bring that black into the painting now. You know, I think the blacks now is gonna bring it out, or the outlines and stuff. Alright, so I'm back. I've got my tea. Look at that, lovely. Which will probably end up going cold anyway, as it usually does, while I'm like painting, because I just get a bit confused. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to bring it, just going to mute you and give it a bit of a dry, because I can still see it's like a bit wet in places, and I really need it to be dry to carry on. Wonderful. So I'm just going to put my red palette over to the side because it's still a bit wet, and I'm going to bring in this grey. Now I kind of want it, it's kind of a reddish grey, to be honest with you, so I'm going to use this. I don't know if I can. Okay, that should be fine. Again, I'm going to go with a sort of like a transparent look, lay it dry, and then build up that sort of like look. So obviously we've got this bit up here Okay, yeah, perfect. Which is black. You can see I've left some details out anyway, because again, it's watercolour. I don't really need to make everything a major point of detail. You know, there is a little bit there that's darker, and then the rest sort of cuts in. And this big sort of patch here, this bit is dark. Even this sort of like bit here is a lot darker than it should be for a bit of camo, but I think it is literally just the lighting on that sort of part, you know. And again, look, we're just going rough with some of these colours. And this is actually black. I don't really need to do that, but because that'll come in a bit later. There's another little patch here that probably should go a lot darker than that. And here we've got so the idea is that I'm going to do this lighter sort of this sort of wash sort of colour, and it will grey that block down, and then from there I can put in some more darker sort of colours and sort of like start blending it in. So we know that there's a line there, but this is an actual grey bit. So I can push this water here, and again push that water around, and I'm not too worried about these little bits, because they can be highlighted at a later point, or not, depending on how I feel. Going to lift that off a bit more, and I kind of want to apply sort of like some sort of like really dark colours here, just to sort of bring this out. So, but I think I need to be a lot darker. That's one of the issues here. So that stuff's probably going to bleed and create a little bit of line work, but that's alright. And a lot of this area here is this sort of grey sort of colour, so kind of want to paint it, but also not sort of paint it too much. Is that? Yeah, so this is another a black patch there, but this bit is a bit shade, not this dark colour. So, and there's another little bit of dark here. Some of this can actually go black anyway, like this bit here. There's a little bit of shadow, shade going in there that's quite dark, and some shadows here, and again here, but you can't really see it here. So I'm gonna just sort of, what's the word? Again, this is gonna be sort of like a roll, sort of random sort of look. Now this bit actually is quite dark. While simultaneously having that sort of reddish sort of look that we saw earlier, and even this blended sort of look here. And then I'm just gonna, there's actually a much lighter sort of like colour there, which I'm probably going to bring in again with a bit of acrylic to fix it. out. And I'm going to start bringing in some dark colours because I really wanted to bring in a dark colour. So there's a little S shape here, and a little block there, a little block here. Oh yeah, why am I forgetting this bit up here? Okay. We've got this bit here. This is actually a kind of an interesting bit here because it's actually not black, and I don't really want it to be that shade either. So I'm just gonna dab it off while having a little bit of the colour in there. There's just like a few details really that I just want to get blacked out so I know where I'm going. I know that this bit's black. So there's a couple of different ways of approaching stuff. I do actually go with black sometimes as the first, like black, but you know what I mean, as the darkest colour first, which I probably again shouldn't really do, but sometimes I just like it because at least I know where I am, and then sometimes it just sort of like lends to the overall looseness of the picture afterwards. I don't know if, again, I don't really know if other watercolour artists do that. Sort of basically self-taught, just by practicing and stuff. I've had no sort of formal training, to be honest with you. I've watched a few YouTube videos, I guess, but they don't really, I don't know, they don't really show you much. It's just, I mean, pretty much it's pretty much like watching what you're watching now. You're listening to me talk, but I don't know if you're going to actually pick up a brush and learn anything or paint anything or. I mean, it's worth trying. I'd say always make a little bit of a go if you're going to do anything. Why not? There's no reason to not do something, is there? You see, I've done that on this spot, but there's also like a little white line in the middle of that, so I'm going to try and bring that in a little bit as well to see if we can actually do that. Same here. You know, there's like a white line, like it's basically the light reflecting here, but rather than try and leave it white, because it's quite intricate, especially at this sort of like size that I'm painting at. You know, this bit would be all black, apart from maybe that bit. Again, don't really need to worry too much about some of these details in the back. They can be quite loose, and I'll go in with a couple of different colours in a little bit. Maybe show you that. This is actually a darker colour. Again, I'm not going to do that right now because I want to pick out this triangle here, and that's a red line. I'm not going to worry about that. This one here. Yeah, it's just going to help me identify the areas that I want keep dark. So for example, this bit, it is definitely going to stay dark. So does anyone watching actually paint stuff? Hey Jerome, how's it going? Do any of you actually paint anything, or are interested in painting anything, or Photoshop? I did actually with this image. I actually did a bit of photoshopping on that one. Just to sort of like bring out the highlights and sort of like reduce the sort of darks. I'm not sure. I've seen a few guys. I'm not actually sure, to be honest with you. It's a rattlesnake. I know that. I mean, it's got a little Garistas sign and stuff like that. But I don't actually know what skin it is. So I'm gonna have to research that. Or if anyone can tell me what skin it is, that'd be grand. Because I don't think the actual rattlesnake's got any red bits on it at all, and it does seem to be a bit yellower than it should be. Right? The helmet's Harrier. I'll have to look at that. If you've got any good screenshots, you can always send them to me. I know a lot of people ask me if I do commissions, and to be honest, I don't really like doing commissions. I find them very difficult and time consuming, or more time consuming than anything else. I've actually got a few people that I've let down with commissions, which again is exactly why I said to them I don't take money, just in case I decide not to and stuff. I have been hassled for commissions before as well, which is, just makes me think like I want to do like even less likely to do commissions, especially for that person who just can't stop messaging or whatever. I get it. I know people want their ship or something that they want what they want, which is great. But I don't know, man. My brain just doesn't really deal with. I get finicky as it is. So yeah, project that one out and send it to me. I mean, the worst that can happen is I make a really, really bad version of it. I like it if they've got shadows and highlights and stuff like that. That's my personal preference. Which is one of the reasons why the SOE ships are quite nice to paint, because they've got all of those really nice sort of they cast really nice shadows over themselves, and they're just really nice to paint. Nice light sources. Some of them in martyr ships are good like that, but you're looking at things like the Hell is quite nice because it's got that open sort of like bit. I tried to do so many times. I've tried to do the Typhoon, because you'd think, you know, it's got this sort of like open bit, and but it's just is a very difficult. Again, it's a very difficult ship for me to paint. I couldn't tell you why some ships are so much easier than others, but they are. They just are. Just going to leave this a bit loose. Again, there's a little square patches in there, and I'm going to probably come over this in a little bit and sort of like blend some of these in. Yeah. You know, as you do. Yellow and black. That actually sounds quite nice. Do you know what they do use a really nice yellow on the some of the Caldari models. It's like a reddish yellow, as opposed to being as opposed to just being like a lemon yellow. I'm not very fond of lemon yellow. Oh, I can be a bit more bolder with this sort of grey now, because I can see that it's going to dry like this, and that's exactly the colour I wanted for some of the other bits. You know, for example, this bit, definitely wanted it that way. There's a couple of little bits around here, sort of, that I wasn't sure about doing, because I wasn't sure if it was going to be overly black. Plus, you know, I'm using this brush. Then there was a bit here that I kind of wanted to push there. These bits, a couple of little bits. That's actually. No, I've done that bit. There's another little line there, and there's some different colours around these parts, and this should actually all be that sort of grey as well. And this bit here was actually black. Okay, so we've got that bit there. And there's a little bunny here. I'm not going to worry about that right now. A bit of black here, and this bit, and this bit. There we go. Yeah, this one's got this one that I'm painting at the moment. It's also got red in it. It's like a bit of red and stuff on it. But again, it could just be it could be to do with the lighting more than anything else. You know. So I'm gonna have a sip of my tea before I forget it. But how are you guys feeling so far? What do you think so far? Is that how's that looking for you? I actually really want to get this colour. Let me get a bit of I'm going to have to let it dry again, and bring out some. You know what I want to do is bring some of this colour here. Oh. Alright, I can actually see where I've gone off here, and I've smudged a little bit of paint, which was terrible of me really, but sometimes once you've done something like that, it's not really a lot you can do, and we just go, you know, we just go with the flow. You know, we'll happily keep it there, like some of these little dots. I kind of want to, there's this little technique that I can't seem to get right, that's just about getting some little dots of water and stuff, and it sort of like lifts it. But you have to let it sort of grasp, and I do kind of like I like seeing sometimes a little bit of bleed with the watercolours. You know, I suppose that's strategic bleeding. So again here, because I don't really like it on the actual picture, but we'll create a little bit of bleed here anyway, just to sort of help with that. Yeah, no worries. Welcome back, mate. How do I decide what ship to draw? I did some Gristas. I started off with the live streams with Grista ships. So it was the Gila was the first, and it was the two worms. Then I did a Loki, but I don't know why I did the Loki really, because I wanted to sort of like stick to the Grista ships. I was going to do like a pirate line, and then go from the pirate line to maybe like angels or something like that, and then like, you know, so I could do like a series, almost like a series, but for some reason I did a Loki the other day. So I guess there's I mean, leaning back into what I was saying earlier about commissions and how they can be problematic for me sometimes. I know a lot of other people suffer with this as well, but sometimes if your brain just doesn't want to do something, it just won't do it. And obviously I haven't painted for sort of like a long time, so I was trying to keep the same with I did the Gila, and then I thought, well, I'll do Gristas again because it fits in the same pattern and I can use the same palette. So there was that to factor in, but also just because that's what my brain was saying. And today I was like, I was looking at a couple of pictures. I was actually looking at Paint and Legion, and then I decided to go with this instead because it fitted in. I had the yellowish sort of palette from yesterday, from the day before, from the Loki. I had that sort of like yellowish palette, so it's the same sort of palette as that I used with the Gila, but with the Gilas and the worms, but with a bit more yellow ochre in. And this one, actually, this image up here, I was actually thought, it sort of like fitted in those same colours. There's a lot less grey and stuff in this than there was the Loki. Obviously, there's much more patches and stuff. And you can see I've not actually done. There's a lot of fine detail that I haven't actually used yet. What I'm actually doing is there's some. You won't be able to see it, but there's actually little dots of water that I'm just letting soak in at the moment. and what should happen is when they've soaked in a little bit, I should be able to lift off little bits of the paint, or at least that's the hope. And it sort of like gives a little bit of a texture. So you know, if you look, for example, this little dot here, I don't know if you can see the detail. You probably can't. There's a little dot there, and it was like a normal texture. We're just yeah. So it's not really lifting for me at the moment. It's not lifting any of the paint. That might be because I've used the hairdryer, because usually it would lift. So, and I'm not used to using a hairdryer. Like, I've only started using it for the actual live streams anyway. This image came from let me have a look. Let me see if I can find it actually. Where did I get it from? Because I was looking at Legion as well, but so what made me look at this? Let's have a look. Put in Garistas. Just put in Garistas Rattlesnake. Then I'll go to images. Okay, so it's this one. It's from a post from 2 years ago. Let's have a look. I will post it if it will let me send a link. Let me see if I can truncate that a minute. Give me a second. Okay, let me just. Oh, that's where I actually got the that picture from. Where is it? I don't actually know what they're on about when they say fix Gristis or size strange Rattlesnake. Oh, okay, yeah, that's where I got it from. I'm not actually sure what the what skin that is. They look like they're all supposed to be the same skin, so I don't know where it's actually come from. It could be, yeah, doesn't really, yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. I'd have to have a better look to find out what actual skin that is, but that's where I got the image from. Okay, so I'm just gonna, because I'm sort of like waiting now for, yeah, it's not lifting any of that paint off as I wanted it. So I'm guessing the heat has sort of like fixed the paint there for me, which isn't grand. It's not the best. Okay, so just gonna that one actually does go there, and there's a little line here that's sort of like missed as well. Yeah, it's alright. I could bring a lot of these colours in. I can bring them in later anyway. Or I can actually lower it down. I'll bring it in there. There we go. Okay, I know what we're doing now. We're going to do some of the sort of finer details. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the stream, because it is, like I said, it's a bit of a weird one. Oh, actually, I like that colour. That's quite nice. And yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm going to use this colour now. It's sort of almost like a wash, but almost not. Well, what am I on about? It is a wash. Don't listen to me, but listen to me. It's a wash. And I'm going to do some of these lines as well. Oh, that's actually black. Okay, this is a bit of a colour here. Now, this actually is interesting because I obviously didn't get it earlier, but that is a different colour completely there. So let's just hope that sort of takes now. And again here, we're gonna again water it down a little bit and start bringing in some of these. Oh, okay. Start bringing in some of these little camo lines. No, I've done it again. Should probably put some masking tape on there, but I'm not going to bother. So there's a little bit of a colouring sort of thing there. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I have used Tamber's resource before. I don't know if any of you are aware of what I'm talking about there, but there's a bit of kit called Eve NT Shipbuilder, and I've used that before. I've used that quite a few times actually, especially like years ago. I used it almost exclusively at one point. But I haven't really used it that much recently. It's not. Well, I don't think it's been updated for a while. I'm not sure if Tamber's on. You can tell me more, or it might have been updated recently. I'm not entirely sure about that either. So I've just put a bit of water on this brush to sort of bring that through, and I'm going to do this as well. Maybe make a couple of fake gradients here. Again, some of these issues, some of these things I'm not really doing a lot of detail on. And again, some of these colours are really going to be brought out with some acrylics at a later point. This bit here, that's probably going to be staying the same a little bit. Again, some of these little bits, I'm sort of like mixing and matching the colours on the palette at the moment, just to suit what I think is gonna be the best colour for that bit. So probably going for this more yellow ochre sort of colour for the details around here. I just sort of like to tidy these up and bring a bit more contrast in between between these colours and others. Again, I'm going for these sort of bits around here. This bit's causing me some issues mentally because I'm looking at it and I'm going, what detail do I want to pick out? I'm not really sure what details I want to pick out here. I know there's a little bit of white there, you know, and maybe I just want to. Maybe it's because I just want to keep it quite loose. In that sort of like general area, while also keeping this bit bright. I'm not really sure. My you know, sometimes my brain is doing stuff that the rest of me is trying to catch up on. In fact, that seems to be the way quite more often than not. And I guess we're probably at the stage now where you're probably not even seeing a lot of the detail that I'm putting on, to be honest. You can see I'm holding my brush like this and it does create sort of little mistakes, but I'm embracing those. I quite like, again, that's what sort of like keeps it looking like a painting, those little fun sort of mistakes. At some point I'm going to try and fix that line so it's a lot straighter and a lot less what's the word, not really sure. I can see that there's some lines here, some line work here as well. There's some line work here, lines here. There's a little line there we go. And this bit is actually red, but I'm going to just paint it there to remind myself that there is some colour there. And it's the same bit here, and there. And we got like these little bits of grey or sort of coming around here. Yeah, oh well. I think I'm going to be very careful when I'm doing the some of the highlights for this bit. Some bits again. And again, this bit is not really taking that line how I wanted it. I wanted that to be more of a I can't remember what the word is. I'm very bad with words sometimes. So, and then we're going to just put another little bit of this reddish sort of like colour again up here. We're going to go back to the red. Like I said earlier, back to what I was saying earlier, is some of this colour is probably like got a bit thicker now. So we can apply a little bit more colour, and I'm not going to make the same mistake this time. I'm going to put a little bit of cadmium red up in the corner. So this is perfectly fine for something like this bit. That'll dry in a way that I sort of like want it to, hopefully. I'm not going to worry about the red on here. The red on here is irritating me. It's just irritating me, and I can't figure out why. But some of that's going to go in shadow now. So, and that's just the way it's going to be. Might be because it's actually not red, it's actually a darker colour, but you know, we're going to leave that as that is now, and give that a little bit of a brush. This bit's got that red wash sort of feel, but hasn't given me that red wash sort of feel. Okay, so this does actually have a little bit there that I that's probably why I didn't like that bit over there. I can see it's bleeding a bit. That's fine. I can also see there's a little pink line that I'm going to bring in to highlight that edge with at another point. Same here, and I'm obviously keeping it quite loose again in some of these other lines that I'm doing. I still really want to bring that out, and I guess I will at some point when it does what I want it to. Oh, that one's going to be fun. There we go. Dealt with. There's a lot of these little red areas here that I'm sort of I've been avoiding, like sort of like almost like a reflective sort of light, or maybe it's maybe from the sun or something like that. Just a couple of little areas that sort of like have that sort of reddish tinge even there. And here, definitely here or here. Yep. here. Definitely there. So we're going to probably bring that out a little bit. Like I said, a lot of this is going to be brought in, so we're pretty much done with the mid-tones and stuff. Nice to see 4 of you are still with me, because it can be quite quite a boring it's quite a boring watch, I guess. Again, I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, and I really want to sort of like do something with the texture on this background, but I think it's just going to be about darkening it down. You know, which isn't oh yeah, that can work. And then I'm going to just cool. Okay, I kind of, that's a bit better, but okay, kind of a bit better, but not really much better. There is a sort of I don't have to do this work on the background, to be honest. It's just that I kind of wanted to do a little bit of work on the background. Just darkening up some of the areas and then lightening others, or more to the point, I wanted to darken some areas that would basically lighten up some of the others. So again, this bit I didn't really like I've sort of included anyway. And when we bring in some stars and some of the highlights, hopefully that should help with that. I could make this a lot darker actually. Don't know if I want to, but I can actually. Make that area a lot darker. I mean, on the actual image, it is a lot darker. So, and yeah, I'm leaving a little white, a little sort of like line there for reflective stuff. I mean, even this is probably, this is just as dark as it's going to go anyway. Underneath those white, jet trails or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what they call them on spaceships. But yeah, they are there. And if we're going to do I love the way that sometimes, no matter what you do, you can't get any paint splatters at all, and then other times it just, it's just there, no matter what you do. And again, that's fine. Hopefully you won't really notice this, but it doesn't matter if you do anyway. Like a little bit of a mistake here and there doesn't really matter. So this looks like it's been a bit of a longer one today. Actually, you know what? I don't like the way that looks. Just sort of left there. So, kind of want to bring that in as well. Yeah. Okay, that's probably a bit better. Oh, hey guys. Nice to see you joining. A raid day. Where have you guys come from? Whose streams do you guys come from? Oh, thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. I've still got quite a few details to go. We're 2 hours in at the moment. Oh, hey, thank you. Maybe dragon. Maybe a dragon. So yeah, I've got a few. I know what it is. It's probably this side that's actually disturbing me more than anything else. It's too light there. Oh yeah. What were you painting the Eve ships or? What were you? I'm gonna have to look at your channel now, aren't I? Let's have a quick look at your. How do I do this? A little look at your. I think it was showing me the last stream, right? I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting for this to dry. At the moment. Oh, I see. Like, what are you using? Like, oh, that's quite good though. Do you know how hard it is to use that? That's like the Microsoft Paint thing, isn't it? MS Paint. Is that MS Paint? Yeah, that's really good. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I have seen some people do some amazing stuff with MS Paint, and I'm always like super impressed because it is one of the most difficult things to ever that I've ever used, and I've used I've used software on a bunch of stuff, but yeah, MS Paint, man, so difficult. What did? But at least you gave it a shot, and that's all that counts, isn't it? You gave it a shot, and you saw what it came out like. But that's good anyway, because gives you a little bit of fun thing to do as well. But what made you do that? Do you draw a lot, or? I'm actually waiting for this to dry a bit. Do you normally draw with pencils and stuff like that, or do you draw with what's it called? Digitally. I actually find pencil work to be quite difficult. The watercolours I got into a few years ago, and I've been doing that for a while. Yeah, every now and again I've done some digital stuff, but definitely not. Definitely not MS Paint. That is a completely different beast, to be honest. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I've seen some people. Some people have done like amazing things with MS Paint. Don't ask me how. I have no idea how. Oh, what are these? Oh, Milan #1. Oh, that's the first time I've used this one, then, guys. So, yeah, I've no idea how they managed to do stuff so like we're talking like hyper realistic stuff with MS Paint. Like if you Google it, you'll find it, and it's absolutely insane how on earth they've done that. Maybe it's just the fact that they've spent a year maybe doing it or something like that. I don't know. because I can't figure it out. So I'm going to put a little Garista's bunny up here, or try to at least anyway. And it doesn't seem to have an eye on this one, so I'm just going to do. There we go. And then this one's a bit more. This one's a bit more. You can see this one. You know, I'm being a bit fiddly with this detail. I don't know why. I kind of want it to look like the Grister's bunny. I really want a hoodie with the Grister's bunny on it, because I think the Grister's bunny is one of the coolest logos in any game that I've seen, to be honest with you. And whoever came up with it is a genius. Thank you for joining anyway, and you have a nice night. Maybe, all right. Maybe have a nice night. No, you have a nice night. Thanks a lot. Alright guys, we're going to make some black here. Make some black. So, because I've run out. This is either going to go one of two ways. So I'm going to go brown or black. Actually, that's not done too bad. So I'll mix it in with the rest of what I've got. And yeah, that's not bad. That's not too bad actually. And because the colours on this are kind of like reddish, I'm going to leave it like that. That's kind of nice. Kind of nice that it's actually gone. Because usually it comes out brown or usually comes out brown or too blue, and then I have to add one of the other colours with it. I'm just going to add a touch more blue. And let's see if this will. Wondering if any of you have been with me since I started this stream and watched the whole way through, or if you've fallen asleep by now. If you're still awake and you've been with me the whole stream, pop a little message in. Say, yeah, I'm still awake, Gio. I've watched every paint stroke and every cup of tea you've drunk. So I'm just trying to apply some darker colours on here now, and there is this that I missed out earlier. For some reason I don't know why I missed this out earlier, but it did. It got missed out earlier. Unfortunately, doesn't matter because I'm doing it now. is this. These colours here. Oh. And this one's not too bad, but I'm going to apply some of this colour on it anyway. And it's mostly these colours here that I want to apply this to. Again, this area here, there's a little black line there, and like I said, there's some of these colours that have been perplexing me, and I've been trying to not fuck up too much. Of course I can bring them in now. Like this one here, there's a line there, a little bit of a that's what I wanted, to be honest. That little line there. Now I know there's a little grey line there that I want to keep grey, so there's going to be a wash there at another point, and we're going to bring this around here. Don't know why some of these shadows are a lot stronger than other lines, but that's what it is. So I'm going to do that. There's not really a line there anyway, but I'm going to make one. Then there's a bit of black here, and that's going to help me identify another bit there later. Another black line there. This bit at the bottom, and I'm just going to do one side of this bit here, and bring it sort of back in. This is again a very dark sort of area up here that I need to pick out some. I think I need to sort of like come here and pick out some details. I think I'll probably need to pick out some fine print, as they say. I'm just going to paint this black because there's no point in me really trying to do those little red dots right now. And again, top of there. And again, we can bring in some of this. I'm just going to keep this really loose right here, because it doesn't, I haven't really worked this detail to be anything but loose up here at the moment. I kind of want to in some ways, and then in other ways I can see that this has not really gone according to my original plan, so I'm gonna, although there wasn't really much of a plan anyway to begin with, I'd be really honest with you there. And let's just bring a little line there and smudge it. Oh, that didn't go right. Oh, that's alright, we'll just keep it like that for now anyway. Again, these lines here, I'm going to do that. Kind of want to, you know, like, bring out some of these lines with just some sort of, you know, again this bit here and this little pattern here. This bit's quite yellow. I don't know why this bit's quite yellow, but it is. And I'm just gonna again bring in some dark colours here. Got this sort of like this sort of colour that I kind of want to bring in a bit, but I feel like it's not really letting me do that, you know. There's a bit here that I've missed, and that's the thing with sometimes when you're putting in details, if you miss some details it's fine to miss, but then other details it kind of throws you off, so I know that this bit's kind of like very dark, and again this bit was very dark and I sort of missed it out, because that was what was causing me some trouble with these little bits up here, you know. I need a little bit of red, because the colours that I'm trying to get up here don't seem to be working for me very well. Because I didn't do them right in the first place. Which is always fun, you know, when you're copying stuff up. No, Legion. Oh no, not you again, Lenka. Sorry, mate. I was actually going to do a Legion today, to be honest with you, but I didn't. So there. And no, I don't owe you a rattlesnake. Oh, it was a nightmare, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. Not a rattlesnake. How you doing, mate? You alright? No, I got you a nightmare. I don't owe you one. I know, yeah, I know it was my fault, but I did give you. I know for a fact I gave you another one. Busy day today. Work, huh? Yeah, I did. I still find that that fight immensely funny. By the way, I still can't believe I was sat there going, oh, you know, we're in the middle of the fight, and I was just like, didn't use the ECM. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? What was I thinking? Yeah, work makes all fun and no play, man. It's an unfortunate part of having a day job, innit? Closing a wormhole on you. Which one's that? I don't remember that one. With a guy. I probably didn't do it on purpose. That time. Oh, well, yeah. You're not getting guardians out of me. Although I've got a couple. You don't play often enough. So if you happen to be in this chat and you see me talking to people and laughing about stuff, it's because I've played the game with them loads of times, and we've got some funny stories or a bit of banter. You might actually see some people come on and insult the shit out of me, and they'll actually be one of the people I count as an e-friend. So I am British, obviously, and we see these as sort of like signs of affection more than anything else. But you know, some people just don't. So we've got some darker lines here. That's great. I can start picking these out. And you can see I'm really not concerned with what details these are. I'm actually just basically picking out details. Well, it's not even picking out details. Picking out the illusion of texture or detail sometimes is what we're actually doing, and that's what I'm doing right now. So there's a little bit of detail here, or a texture that I've sort of not even alluded to. And again, some of this is going to be brought out with more the ready sort of light colours that I haven't really included yet. So the pink that will probably get bought in at some point. Oh wow, that just didn't take well, did it? There we go. And there, and here, because I'm kind of really trying to get this bit to show some red, and it's just not. Like some of the other parts as well that aren't really showing the colours as I'd like. Same as this bit here. I think I really just want to sort of like have a stretch right now. Maybe bring in a little bit of a wash here, because that has got a bit more of a reddish sort of tinge to it. Some of these darker bits here are actually that colour that I'm not really including in a lot of my colours here, but they should be. This should have like some red, and it's just not. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just a bit watery, but I'm gonna try and bring that in a little bit before I bring in some acrylic, which I think is probably sort of coming to that point where I really do want to sort of bring in that acrylic paint. Why is that there like that? No. Gonna water this down a little bit and bring in the line here that I want. See that? And then just I'm gonna, yeah. This one's actually got a bit of a line there, and this cut here, and again to just try and bring some of these colours out. And again, some of these are actually like pretty, you know, I'm adding texture where there actually isn't none. There isn't any, I suppose. There's actually a little bit of, oh, I noticed that. I haven't caught that one out. There's actually a little bit of a black area there, and here, which I have to sort of adjust, and there. And I could probably do with some lighter stuff here, because I darkened it down because I wanted it to be a bit darker, and it hasn't really gone majorly according to plan, but you know, you can't win them all, and for the most part it has actually gone according to plan. So I just want to sort of bring in some of these details. And yeah, I mean we're getting there, you know. I think we are hitting that sort of wall where I'm actually just adding detail that I shouldn't really do, and I'm avoiding putting in a detail that I want to put in. Just for now. Yes. Oh, there we go. That's another bit we're missing. Is some of the texture here I've not really been doing a good job at sort of like introducing or keeping. And there are some bits here that do have that sort of that Garista's camo look going on. And little dot there. Don't know why. Let's just do some flicks. Yeah, that'll do. And I think we're sort of like ready for sort of like the acrylic. Ooh. Although this bit is exceptionally black, or dark I should say. I need to stop calling it black because I don't even bloody use black. It's not really. On this bit, this is just like solid. This isn't. I kind of want to show the difference between this bit and the shiny bit, like that. Okay. And again, this. I just want a bit of like a splodge of black here to just tie that little bit in the corner in. Hey Moneybags, welcome back. I always have the same name for everything, and everyone else I know has like 20 different names for different platforms and that, and I'm like, oh, I don't know who I'm talking to anymore, you know. I've got this guy, Moneybags, I've got a bunch of other people earlier. At least Duronix kept his name, and Manifest, I guess. That's it, it's Rule. Welcome back, Rule. Yeah, so hey is missing this guy. What? So I kind of want to put on the white, but we've been going about nearly coming up to 3 hours now, and I'm kind of like, I kind of want to have a think about it, and sort of like move from there. So I might actually continue. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to wrap this up and continue this painting another day, because you probably won't see the highlights that I put on anyway. And yeah, I do kind of want to think about it, and I think about how I'm going to approach the highlights, as well as like let it dry a bit and put probably a bit more detail in the back here by creating some contrast again. Again, I'm probably better off by there's this little yeah, there's a little thing there that's probably better to just do like that, and some little lines here as well. Although that's a lot darker than I Oh yeah, is he alright? I haven't seen Payne for a while actually. I do see him. He plays a lot of games, a lot of different games. So guys, like this is where I'm gonna wrap up this. Yeah, I see him on. He's always on Steam and stuff like that. He's got so many games on Steam now. Like yeah. So this is the current thing. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a story, or on Twitter, I'll take a photo now, because the what you can see through my crappy thing and what I can see are like different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a picture now. You can see the camera, and you should. We'll post that on as an Instagram story and on Twitter, and then I'll just show you my. Let me have a look. Oh, sorry. And let me just post it on Twitter as well, so you guys can see that. I'm glad you like it, mate. I remember I think I've sent Payne a painting before, and he went sort of like missing. So let me just show you guys if you can see it on Twitter or Instagram. How do I do this? Here we go. Oh, no, that's not the one. No, did I send something to you? I don't know. I've sent stuff to so many people. Like I think Payne bought a or not bought. He wanted a little a bird, Bonetti's warbler, and it sort of went missing, which is a real shame actually, because you know, I kind of really liked it. And obviously my Instagram there, or I don't know if I can actually. I don't know if I can actually send a picture to let me see if I can. I'll put it on the desktop. And then I'll see if I can. No, it won't let me post a yeah, I can't post a picture in the actual thing. But yeah, you can have a quick look on my socials, and I'll finish off with basically I'll be putting on like the highlights and stuff like that on here. It'll be I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of the quality that I'm looking at. It says 1080 at source, but I'm really not seeing the any of the finer details. So there's some. I mean, this bit area here is just all a jumble, which is fine because it isn't that detailed anyway. But when I start putting on some white lines here and trying to bring these areas out, these like light areas out, they are not going to show as well. And then there's going to be some whiter lines here to bring it out. There's some little edges, the edge lines here that I'm going to be using to bring out that probably aren't going to show. It's not even really showing any of the real red stuff. So the pink lines that I'm going to use here, and the little yellow sort of highlights I'm going to pick out here, probably not going to show either. So I'll probably stream it, but I'll probably record it more on. I think I'll probably record the final stages on using my phone because my phone actually takes better pictures or better video, and then I'll go from there. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Like I said, I will finish this off on the next stream, and we'll see if I can figure out a way of streaming from my mobile. There are a couple of apps that are apparently quite good, and I'll go from there. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. I can see a couple of people have just hopped on, but for now that's going to be the end of this stream. If you can just check out the story and the Twitter if you've got it, and you should see things there. You should catch up with me on my Discord sometime. I'm gonna just post a link here if I can. You should be on my Discord anyway, but let's have a look. Invite people. This is a 7-day link. I don't know why it's a 7-day. Okay. My Discord's there. If you guys want to chat to me, or if you want to, what's the word? If you want to, if you've got any screenshots you think I might like, just post them in the public channel there, and I'll be happy to take a look at that. If I decide to use them, I will, and I'll let you know. I've actually got Eve a channel there called Eve Screenshots. So if you wanna pop them in there, just go for it. All right, and you guys have a nice night. Thanks for tuning in. All right, bye.